And today I'm going to talk to you about iOS accessibility. So first, I'll introduce myself, then I'll tell you why you should start implementing accessibility. I'll show you the existing accessibility features, then I'll do a little demonstration. Finally, a virtual tour of the session. So let's start by introducing myself. I'm Juliana Salgado, I'm from Brazil, and I'm graduating in system analysis at Campinas University in Brazil. At university, I had some great experiences, such as working as teacher assistant at C, Java, statistics, and some other subjects. And this passion took me to tutoring, especially with disability, which was a really rich opportunity because to help him, I needed not only to understand his difficulties, but also to understand his home context. Back in 2014, I published one article about an assistive communication project to help aphakic people and improve their recording. For those not familiar with aphakia, it's a disease that damages the part of the brain that deals with language. So a task that is usually simple for us is complex for the aphakic, such as arranging words, creating a sentence, and so on. Then, we developed a mobile system which has the purpose of monitoring aphakic patients remotely without the need of a caretaker, at least for a few hours. And this project also helped the aphakic patients to communicate on board. And that was the moment I realized I wanted to go beyond, and the pitch came to my life. And for around 8 months now, I'm an iOS developer at the Brazilian Education Program for iOS development. And with only 3 months of development, I was one of the scholarships. But as a matter of fact, this project has been a version 21, now on iOS platform, which I'll show you soon. And has also started some of the tech implementation I have now for iOS accessibility, and it's why I'm talking about it today. So, why should we talk about accessibility? Accessibility is about supporting different users with different abilities. And I need to say that because we need to consider that two users are not the same, nor have the same abilities. So, to prove that, let me show you something. We are around 7 billion people in the world. From this amount, 1 billion people suffer with some kind of disability. 360 million people deal with hearing loss. 680 million people suffer with color blindness. And finally, 285 million people suffer with vision impairment. The point here is to show you that these people are really in need of accessibility content. For us developers, this is a feature, but for them, it's a tool to interact with the world. So we see the world through our eyes. They see it by listening to it. So we also need to consider here how much of the market we are losing when not giving much attention to it. This is a great number, it's a huge number. And again, thinking about those numbers, I need to ask, does your app provide support for all these people? Please raise your hands, those that have an accessible app ready to be used. I was expecting that. So, knowing that so many people are in need of accessibility content, let's get to know them. For physical issues, Apple provides reach control, made for anyone with physical or motor issues, helping the user to navigate through sections. To be clear, this image shows an external switch. One of the possibilities to the user that has trouble performing finger gestures, to perform tap, drawing, and manipulate the device at all. You can make your app accessible through switch control by verifying if it's enabled with accessibility easy switch control ready. And you can also post notifications with UI post notification. To show you, here I pause and resume the operation temporarily with assistive technology notification, and I listen to it with this function provided, that is UI accessibility post notification, where the argument is the notification you want to listen to, and the argument you pass new unless this notification specifies otherwise. To have an adapt, you can interrupt at any time. You can also use the default notification center, not only the accessibility one. In this case, I use UI accessibility switch control status did change notification that is activated every time the system settings changes. Still for physical issues, we have Assistive Touch that helps performing multi-touch gestures such as joining or slicking several fingers by hitting one single menu with all these actions. And you can activate it with a single touch or a custom action. In this case, activate it with a single touch. We also have touch accommodations, where you can adjust how the screen responds to your finger and how long you should press before it's recognized. And you can also set if hold directions. You should ignore the repeated actions, so you can touch anywhere in the screen without mistaking from an action. For learning, we have guided access to help with people with autism or other sensory challenges by giving you a setup screen where you set what you want to focus on, and the person that is supervising the user sets a password and then starts the session. As you can see here, there are those gray parts. That's the parts that the user can manipulate. It's not able to do it. You can verify if guided access is enabled with UI accessibility if guided access is enabled. And you can set, in case it is, you can treat the behavior of your app by setting these identifiers. These identifiers are used to pause and resume assistive technologies. And the person that is supervising is the one that will start the session. You can also start an guided access session in your app. And what makes sense in case you want to start a form or something, it's like a test, and you want the user to be focused on it. So you can start the session and you won't allow the user to do anything else unless using your app. For people with low vision, we have VoiceOver. It's the most called for feature being a screen reader application where the user just touches the screen and hear what's under his finger. To show you.
VoiceOver on. Settings.
VoiceOver on. Settings. Accessibility. Back button.
Heading.
VoiceOver.
VoiceOver on.
VoiceOver on.
You may find that she's speaking too fast. But in fact, for visually impaired people, even this is slow because it's the way they see things. Just like we cross pages just by a pretty look, they do it by listening to it. So it's pretty amazing. Developers can see if it's running to deal with it. And we have UI accessibility, that is an informal protocol in UIP that provides accessibility information about user interface. Elements. We have the UI accessibility element, that is a class that has the information about an item that should be accessible. And we also have all these accessibility elements. There are many of them, and we'll talk later about hint, label, and trigger. And finally, your accessibility container, in case you have a single visual control, but you have different selectable parts. So you're able to group accessibility elements that can you do it with your accessibility container. It will be on. You can also post notifications. As example here to VoiceOver, I see when the layout changes. So and the parameter I send the argument is the text you want VoiceOver to say when the layout changes, and you can also, instead of saying passing the text, you can pass the view you want VoiceOver to focus on. And you listen to it also with the default notification center in case you want to do something when VoiceOver finishes speaking. You're also able to do it. These are just some examples because there are a lot of notifications you can do it. Zoom works with VoiceOver and is provided to help low vision patients by allowing it to see the zoomed area in a separate window, while you can keep the rest of the screen in its native size. And also there is one notification for Zoom, so you are also able to do it. We have visual accommodations like invert colors and grayscale. We can also set larger text, bold text. There are a lot to explore. And in your app, you can change the layout by verifying if this is enabled. So let's suppose you have the reduced motion for people that have problems with sensory. You can deal with it, so you can put your layout properly. And finally, for hearing issues, Apple provides hearing aids that is made to be used together with the iPhone to improve hearing quality. And the user can set subtitles, audio, and so on. So in your app, you're able to verify if it's enabled to include it. Now that you know a little bit of the tools that help these people, let's explore an example around vision impaired people. And I'll do it by demonstrating one of my apps, the one I told you before, and making it accessible. Talkative is a communication board which helps patient people to communicate. So then when you click in the word of happy, it says happy, and so on. Let's see.
I
I
want to
want to
eat
eat
apple. I want to
apple.
eat apple.
I want to eat apple.
So before we try the behavior of the app with VoiceOver, there are a few questions I encourage you to answer to see the behavior, to see how you would make it work. So can VoiceOver speak everything that is contained in the app? So you turn VoiceOver on and you see. If the answer is yes, so your app is accessible. And can VoiceOver do everything within your app? So there are two questions that I use as a guide to help me make my app accessible. And now let's see it working to answer those questions.
VoiceOver on. Landscape.
Voiceover on.
To
Landscape.
the left.
Home button to the left.
Button.
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 Button. Button.
Well, as you could see, the answer for those questions is no. I can navigate, I can use the main function of the app that is communicate. The only thing accessible here is my arrow button, because did you hear that sound? It's VoiceOver telling me that there is nothing else to be seen. So definitely it's not accessible. The user can't communicate at all. To make it work, No, I don't make keyboard. Sorry. This is my already, the code I already have. This is a function that I already use an accessibility feature that is the speech synthesizer. It helps me to convert text to voice. That's how my app speaks. That's why you heard me, and so on. I just convert a string to voice. It's simple. And I have my collection view delegate method, where I set up the cell and the content of the cell to the text and the image, just being a pair. Now, yes, to make it work, I just call in my collection view delegate method this method I had created called setup collection cell. And again, before we see it working, there are a few questions I also use as a guide, but to set my accessibility labels. There are, do I have a purpose? What's my name? What's my personality? And how should people interact with me? I'll show you how to apply this question. So basically, what I do here is set is accessibility element equals true. And the question is, do I serve a purpose? In case I do, my accessibility element equals true. To set the accessibility label, I answer what's my name. That is the textual representation of that I want the user to hear. So in that case, I want the user to hear milk, or I want the user to hear apple. So this is my textual representation. And finally, what's my personality? That is how you tell VoiceOver how to interact with something. In this case, I'm treating it like a button. So VoiceOver users know it is a button, so you double tap to perform tap. And people who interacted, how should people interact with me? It's how you tell VoiceOver. It's how you tell the user how to interact with something. So in this case, I'll say double tap to select. That is already used to. Now we're ready
Double tap to select.
working.
Double tap to select.
Emergency. Button.
Emergency.
Button.
Button.
Emergency. Button.
Emergency.
Tab
Button.
on. Button.
Selected.
Want to.
Tab
Button.
on. Button. Want to.
Double tap to
Button.
select.
Double tap to select.
Drink. Button.
Drink.
E.
Button.
Button.
E.
Double
Button.
red.
Double red.
Apple. Button.
Apple.
Double tap
Button.
selected. Apple.
Double tap selected. Apple. Banana. Button.
Button.
Button. Button.
So as you can see, it's much more accessible. But we still have work to do though. VoiceOver wasn't able to find my purple, no, my blue speak button. And he says arrow, button. It would make more sense to listen something like previous page. Something more intuitive. So to make my arrow button accessible, I use interface builder. A really simple way for you to make your app accessible where I set the basic accessibility components such as label, hinge, traits, and identifier in case for guided access. So if your app doesn't require that much accessibility features, this is a really easy way to do it in pretty fast and won't cost you anything else. And to make my read sentence button accessible, again, I answer the question, do I have a purpose? And yes, I do. I want my user to be able to speak. What's my name? I want him to say that this button is to listen to the sentence. How should people interact with me? I want the user to perform magic tap to activate it. For those not familiar with magic tap, it's visual impairment people are using magic tap because it's when you perform two finger to taps. This is magic tap for them. And what's my personality? I want it just to be an information menu because I want at any time the user touches two fingers to tap in the screen. I want it to be able to listen to the whole sentence. And here I set my collection view that we should group accessibility children equals true. So I will group the items and we will be ordered how to visit these elements. And here I have my perform magic tab function that you can use in your app in case one user to perform magic tab. That set it to the user be able to listen to the whole sentence at any time.
Emergency. Button.
Emergency.
Cat.
Button. Selected. Catalog.
Double tap to
Button.
select.
Double tap to select.
Listen to the sentence.
Listen to the
Perform
sentence.
magic tap to listen to the sentence.
Perform magic tap to listen to the sentence.
Listen to the sentence.
Listen to the
Perform
sentence.
magic feel. Button.
Perform magic feel.
Double tap
Button.
want to. Button.
Don't want to.
Double tap to
Button.
select.
Double tap to select.
Listen to the sentence.
Listen to the
Perform
sentence.
listen to the sentence.
Perform listen to the sentence. Tweet.
Listen to the sentence.
Listen to the sentence.
Button. Apple.
Banana. Button. Apple.
Selected.
Button.
Apple.
Selected. Apple.
I want to eat apple.
I want to eat apple.
As you could see, you didn't see the click on in the button because the user performed magic tab. So he was able to listen to it. And now I think it is accessible, but to be sure, let's answer again those questions. Can VoiceOver speak everything that is contained within our app? Yes, now he can. He can see the purple, the blue button. He can navigate to the cells, he can see the arrows. So yes, he can speak everything. Can VoiceOver do everything within your app? Now he also can do everything because the person is able to communicate. The function of the app is working. So as conclusion, my app is now accessible because those two questions I answered as yes. So, as you can see, it's little to no for. There's some lines of code, and you can be a broader range of users. And I did this for just one case. Imagine how far you can go thinking about other vision impairments, physical issues, learning issues, and it's all that much that costs just a few lines of code. And I did it with development. You can use interface view. That is easier and it's faster. There are much more to be explored, but it wouldn't fit in just one session. I speak a little bit fast, I think, because I'm lower in the time. I think I was actually.
Yeah. Oh, I missed what you said. Was the magic touch?
The magic tap is when you perform two finger gestures to text. So we do go. This is magic tap.
And you can do that anywhere on the screen and it will activate
Yes.
the action. Okay.
Even if like another button selected, only one thing on the screen at a time.
Yes. It's because to navigate with VoiceOver, the user doesn't, the activate of a button isn't the way you do, just the way a single touch. The user navigated with where? If you turn VoiceOver on and try to navigate to your app, you see that you're not able to go to some, like, I can't go to my calendar. I need to swipe my finger right until I find my calendar, and then I double tap to open my calendar. So that's the way they use it. So if I put double tap, then I will do something. I will be able to. But you can also, if we do 3 finger gestures, we go to the next page. So VoiceOver is, the gesture is different from what we're used to, and from magic type. But you have to implement on the archive all those gestures.
So how do you select something?
Double tap with one finger.
Okay. Because I thought you said that moves to the next element.
So I swipe right
Okay.
to move to the next one,
Okay.
and double tap to select it.
Oh, so to find accessible elements on the screen, they don't have to tap around, they can just swipe, is that what you were saying?
Yeah, it's all one big button.
Yes.
So on the demo you gave where you had each screen had the sentence components, like I want to eat, how do they define the different buttons? They just do a swipe gesture?
Yes, it was swipe gesture to right.
Okay.
The voiceover is sentence from top left to bottom right. So the first thing we will see what is in top left of my screen. Then top right, bottom left, bottom right. And that's how it navigates to it. That's why I use my shoot group accessibility. Because I don't want voiceover to like go to my sentence and visit one word and then go to my arrow. I don't want this mess. So I use it so voiceover groups the items together and I can control the order it visits it. So as conclusion I will say,
And for the accessibility audience, when they or somebody is helping them choose apps, is there a section of the App Store that helps filter these, or is there any pre-selected, this one works well, or is it just trial and error for them to find out?
no.
Just trial and error.
And that's difficult because as I asked you before, none of us develop accessibility features. That's a fact. We need to accept it. So this is difficult because a lot of table sets isn't accessible. So the person isn't even able to know the right because he didn't do it. And you see it's just a few lines of code, just interface builder, and it makes different for them. For us it didn't, but for them it did.
So do you have to, you mentioned that you swipe right to go to the next thing. Do you have to do anything if you already implement a swipe right in your app?
They swipe right in, for example, with voiceover, it's with three finger gestures. So it won't work. And you don't have to deal with it. It's already connected. You don't have to deal with it. The only one thing you have to is the performance check. That's why the trait is so important. In that case, I said it was UI trait button. So by saying it, I say that the user will activate it with double tap. That's how I tell VoiceOver how to interact with something. So I could say like it is a trait value that you would use in a stepper or in a slider that changes the value. So it depends on the kind of trait you set, the way VoiceOver will deal with it.
So UI accessibility tray button would be automatically hooked up to the Magic Tab.
No. The tray button is one thing the Magic Tab is another.
So what's the property for Magic Tab?
It's the function, let me show you. This function is you override and do what you want with Magic Tab. By implementing this function, you're saying your app supports Magic Tab. So then the user is able to double tap with 2 fingers.
So what you said that this is being you override this function. What's the protocol?
It's UI, but you don't implement anything. If you type anything in any UI controller, try to write it.
Right.
If you work, you don't have to.
But don't you have, there's no like arguments to this function, so how does it know like what's selected?
It doesn't.
It
You can
doesn't.
do it anywhere on the screen.
Yes.
Trigger that. You don't have or keep
Anywhere.
It'll call this whatever's inside.
And internally it knows what elements selected.
No, there's no.
Yeah, it's because I know your point. It's because if you're using to click in something such as basic, but VoiceOver and visually impaired people, they don't have this skill. They can't see what they're touching. So to activate something, in this case, Magic Tab, it touches anywhere in the screen. Anywhere. And you deal with what you want to do. In this case, I want to say, I want to speak the whole sentence. So I don't, in voiceover, we don't set clickable parts over, like, I don't have just a corner click.
So my question is, the first question I asked, I think that you misunderstood what I was, or I didn't express it correctly. My question is, when you have the buttons like apple, banana, red, how do you, or for instance, say you want to eat or drink, how does the user distinguish, they go to the next screen from eat or drink? How do they select eat or drink?
So when you're navigating,
Yeah.
you can, let me do something. I'll turn voiceover on my mobile. Voiceover on.
Swipe
So,
down.
if I do 3-finger gesture, left,
Page 2 of 3.
I move page.
Double tap to open.
This is how it works. It's from top left to bottom right, so it started in the FaceTime. If I wanted to click this, I don't want right now. So I want to go to the next element.
FaceTime. Calculator.
I
Double tap to
swipe.
open. Touch 12 by 3.
I
Double
swipe.
tap to open. Podcasts. Extras folder. WWDC 2000. Row 2. Column 2. Page 2 of page 1 of 3. Messages. Spotlight. Spotlight. Search. Home. Page 1 of 3. Calendar. Photos. Camera. Weather. Clock. 14.
And now I want to open the
Double
clock.
tap to open. Clock.
Just double tap.
If my app was accessible, like suppose this, it isn't. He didn't implement the Perform Magic tab.
Right.
But in my app I did. So you deal with the behavior of Magic tab. The rest is provided. You don't need to do anything.
Okay,
You just say how your element will interact with something.
So left, right, tab. Swipe.
Yes.
There's only 5 gestures.
Yes. That's all we have.
Or 6.
Is there anything automatic in the accessibility framework to tell you what the Magic Tap does, or was that a sentence that you just had to read aloud? So you said Magic Tap to read the whole sentence. Is that something you put in, or is that?
I did.
Okay.
Yes. You implement what you want to do with Magic tab.
Is
But
that-
but in this, I don't have to say like I don't have to do this touch gesture or something like this. I just do the behavior. Like I want to see the whole sentence. That's all.
So is that the accessibility hint for the button? Says perform Magic Tap to read the whole sentence.
Yes. In this case.
The strange thing is that you see that little box up at the top. They don't see that box. And all they know is that they just double tap.
Yeah.
That's what it does. Anywhere.
So yes, as it here I say when he taps in the box like the each box, he will say each or what represents. It's the label. In the case of the purple, the blue for me it's purple. I need this so I say this is for you to listen to sentence. So as you can see, it's UI accessibility, trace summary, element. So if I tap, double tap, nothing will happen. Because I'm telling voiceover, this is just an information. That is just to the user know that he can perform with Magic Tap. So it's a little bit different. So that's why we should turn on voiceover and see how it works. Because it's weird. In the beginning, it's like, oh my god. It's freaks you out because you have to go right in the studio, right in the place. But as you can see, she speaks very fast. And the fact that it's even more fast. Because they're used to it. So that's it. The bottom line of this section is the more people who use our app, more they will. So I encourage you to start implementing accessibility features in your app. So that's stop talking all the time. This is a few resources that are many because we don't develop much. So we don't find help in Stack Overflow, something like that. Really fine. There are like 10 questions with no response. So it's difficult. But you have support, Apple support, that sort of help us. And this is the article I told you before I published. So this is it. I hope you like it. If you have any questions, this is where you can find it.
This isn't a question, this is just a comment. I'm friends with another blind iOS developer in the community, and their community is incredibly vocal about accessibility. So if you have an unaccessible app that's something that they would like, they will like viciously like burn it throughout their entire community. It'll go really fast. So if you have a really good accessible application, they're a very passionate community, and they will be very happy to talk about their app and do a good job trying to make it accessible. So this is really important.
And it's weird because they know it will help them. So they are really kindly to try your app and they tell to everybody. So this is really not, it's important to them, but it's a market we're losing to. We need to think about it. So that's it. Any questions?
You already answered, but if the app is accessible and it's on the App Store from a customer point of view, there's no way the customer can see that the app is accessible. There's no tag or anything with the app that it is accessible and the feature that it is implemented or anything like that, right?
I don't think so. But I can appreciate it. If you could see the last WWDC, that one of the awards were for that was good, but it was because of the accessibility. They know that they really appreciate it.
They still have a list of 24 apps from WWDC, popular apps using VoiceOver on the App Store.
Oh,
This is really cool. I mean, I've never even went into the site and setting this. I've never even visited.
Yeah. We don't explore it too much. So that's it. Thanks for
Thank you.